This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
Live from New York, it's a show that has late-breaking news. LeBron to Philadelphia. Just found out. Holy cow, we've been off for a while. Someone just told me in my ear. Wow, we're going to have to blow the show off.
We'll play it like that. Let's act like it just happened.
It just happened. For us, it did. I didn't consume any sports news until I walked in this morning.
Turns out a lot of stuff's been happening.
A lot of stuff's been. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
Great to be
Brew
back.
did a staycation. KW did a little tour of the Northwest.
I was in the
Northeast,
woods.
pardon me.
Northeast.
Yeah,
Northeast.
Northwest. I'd love to go to the Northwest. Remember, I want to go to Vancouver.
and Seattle.
Beautiful up there.
One of the most beautiful cities in North America.
Fantastic. First hour, first things first
Great
today.
to be back.
Again, I just heard this. LeBron's going to Philadelphia. What would a title mean for his legacy? Meanwhile, S-Bob is out. Gotti is in. What does Brew think of Dak's Lewis declaration?
I'm hoping you like it.
Yeah.
And finally,
We'll get to that.
Deion Dawkins on Josh Allen not having to do it all, and why one person here likes the Bills, but thinks they're going to have a very disappointing year.
Really? That must be
Then you don't like the Bills.
That must be you.
Guys,
You don't like them, it's all right.
I like
You love their arch rival. What are you talking about?
I do love their arch rival.
exactly. So
Every time Josh in the Bills social media team posts something, it's like the most wonderful thing in the world. So I like Josh.
Yes, but every
Well, he's
time
pretty
anybody on the team talks about the team, they're just
not going to be. They're not going to win a lot of football games, but they're great guys.
They just diss everyone on the roster in the service of the quarterback. It is true. It's true.
And some great footage of Rashee Rice.
You know what?
Back at camp. I didn't put it into the show, bro.
He looks like a heck of a weapon.
I didn't put it in
You
the
didn't
show.
put it in?
Too mean. It is my too mean radar. Starting in Philadelphia, but commuting from New York. LeBron agrees to a 2-year deal for only $8 million, which is a lot of money in the real world, but also a 92% pay cut.
That's about a month for LeBron, usually, right?
Yeah,
If
I
that,
don't think he's spending. Well, he's got to spend $1 million on his body.
Less than that. It's $4 million a year. He was making $60.
Well, yeah, I was even thinking $8 million, but yeah.
LeBron writing on social media, granted a long time ago, I'm not going for money, not going for family. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. What did picking the Sixers tell you about the King?
3 specific things.
Wow.
First one. Rich Paul was not lying to us when he said before this decision came out, LeBron was going to go to the Knicks. Because the Sixers check as the most boxes that the Knicks would have checked without being the Knicks. Being on the East Coast, or being able to live in New York City, new franchise, a historically relevant but championship-starved franchise. The 3 franchises in the league as of a year ago or 5 months ago who had won a title and had the longest droughts were the Knicks at 53 years, the Blazers at nearly 50 years, and the Sixers at now. Those are the 3 teams that have won a title that have a drought longer than LeBron's been alive. That won a title but haven't won it in LeBron's lifetime.
Right.
So I do believe he was going to be a Knick if they wanted him and if he didn't.
And if he had gone there and they won, they would have won, obviously won anyway, but that would have been huge.
Unbelievable. And so I feel like Philadelphia is like the next best version of that if that's what he wanted to do. And if he was going to go to the Knicks, once Rich said that, we should have known, he's willing to go all the way to the East Coast. He's willing to go to a new team.
Yeah.
So that's first point. Second point is his top priority was winning without ring chasing. Because I think the Spurs would have taken him at the minimum. I think the Thunder would have taken him at the minimum. I know the Nuggets would have taken him maybe at more than the minimum. Maybe if they would have, made something work.
You think the Nuggets would have been ring chasing?
I think the Spurs and the Thunder would have been considered ring chasing, and I think the Nuggets, I put them in that group because there is, on any of those three teams, there would be no question he's not their best guy, even in a given playoff series. I think even if he's not the best guy on the Sixers, he absolutely can be the best guy for a playoff series with the Sixers. And that wouldn't have been the case with those three teams. And my last thing that it tells me about LeBron is, I don't know if you're the one that I got this phrase from, Kevin Wildes, or someone else. But I think it was,
Defense
doesn't matter.
wins championship?
No, I'm not saying I love my kids more than you love yours, but we're tied for the most. Like you can't love your kids more than I love mine. That idea.
I like that though.
I'm not saying LeBron James loves basketball more than anybody else, but I'm saying no one's ever loved it more.
Oh, that's good.
I'm saying he absolutely just loves playing the game and is going to play, I've been saying it, for 25 years. I'm adding an addendum, minimum. He is going to honor this contract, barring catastrophic injury. He is going to play for a minimum of 25 years. So he wanted to go east. He desperately wants to win another ring, and his love for the game's unquestioned. Those are the three things this decision tells me about LeBron.
First, I'll address a few of the things you said before I get to mine. San Antonio would have definitely been considered ring chasing.
Yes,
even though they didn't win it, it just would have been like,
they're the favorites or co-favorites.
OKC, a little less, but still probably. Yeah. I can't say Denver. Now, obviously, some people are saying this is ring chasing. So some people would have said wherever he went, because they were all good teams, it was ring chasing. Denver, I don't know that I consider that ring. Obviously, Jokic is awesome, but they have not had great deep playoff runs.
That's true.
In the last few years. And obviously, it's been a few years now since they won it. But still, some would have definitely felt that way. These three things, it's interesting you said three specific things because that's what I had too. Three specific things. One, winning is definitely priority number one. Because you can argue that of the teams he considered strongly, it's arguable, but this is the team that's the most talented and has the best chance of winning. All right. Cleveland maybe, but this team is stacked on paper. All right. Secondly, legacy. And for LeBron, legacy is all about the GOAT conference. There's nothing else he can do except convince more people that he's the GOAT. All right. And so I think LeBron's looked at it like, this is just me speculating. The two things he can do to convince a majority of people that he's the GOAT is the longevity, which he obviously has that. Yeah. And then secondly, if he wins with Philly, he'll be the first player in NBA history to win 4 championships with 4 different franchises. And 3 of them, obviously, he led them there. This one, he's one of the best players. Yeah. We'll see, whatever. And so I think I believe, because I don't think the GOAT conversation's ever that far from his mind. I think that played a role. Like, you know what? As you said, they haven't won it in 43 years. You already helped the Cavs bust the drought. You'd be helping Philadelphia, one of the great franchises in the league. Even though they haven't won it in 4 decades,
they're a historic
they're one of the great franchises. So that was the second thing I learned. And then the third thing is when he was playing against Dallas a few months ago and Luka was out and LeBron was having a great game and said to that fan, they got me on the shelf. Yeah. He was joking around with the fan. He didn't mean it fully. He was like, to me, it meant, I don't think he hated playing the way he played in LA. Now, maybe some could argue that because he left there. But I think when he said, they got me on the shelf, he was kind of playing along with the fan. Yeah, I can do more, but, they got me on the shelf. Because that is the exact role he needs to go play in Philadelphia. The same role he played with Luka and Austin Reeves is what they need for him to do in Philadelphia. They don't need ball-dominant LeBron, and he's not necessarily that player at this stage of his career anyway, but they got 5 big-time offensive players in their starting lineup. Not a role player among them. You need role players. Team USA even did that. They picked Derek White over Jaylen Brown. All right, you need role players. LeBron, I'm not saying he'll be a role player, but he is the only one who can get you 20 points without having the ball a ton. All right, the only one he's the best passer on the team. He can still rebound well, and quite honestly, Embiid's not the rebounder he used to be, so he could be one of their best rebounders. He's the only player I can see that can really impact the game strongly on their team without having the ball in his hands a lot. Maxey is used to having the ball a lot and being a scorer. Jaylen Brown is a defender, but offensively, he'll have the ball in his hands to make an impact. VJ is young, we'll see. And Embiid at this point is scores. He's not a great defender, not a great rebounder.
Sorry to interrupt, but clearly their best passer.
Yeah,
so I think like ball in his hands, but moving it rather than initiating. I do think he's going to have to be a huge offensive initiator as far as.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a Luka. There's not going even Maxey, though. Maxey doesn't play like Luka, you know, so it's going to be different.
Yeah. Just quickly before we talk about like the upcoming season, did you have a take on the money? The money was shocking to me.
What's the only?
Well, it was going to be that wherever he went, essentially.
It was always going to be that?
Yeah, once he waited this long, I think Miami could have offered him 8 for 1 year. And unless it was going to be a sign and trade, which was never going to end up happening once the Lakers made their moves, he had resigned himself. That's why he could wait as long as he did.
Yep.
Or by waiting as long as he did, he guaranteed he was going to play for the minimum.
Having the biggest bargain of a contract in the entire league while still playing at a, all NBA level, it's a real sacrifice. I don't buy he's got plenty of money. Like, it's a lot. Leaving $50 million on the table is a sacrifice.
Well, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I don't know who was going to offer him 50.
Well, he just made 50, right?
Yeah, but the Lakers weren't offering it to him. But also,
right, I guess
he's playing for way less than he could.
Yeah,
KW leaving more and more breadcrumbs for the bosses as he approaches this contract negotiation. This idea, don't be thinking just because
every last penny.
Everything going on. We're out here working.
I'm just trying to compete.
We're out here working.
LeBron, no stranger to playing alongside superstars and making it work. This team's loaded. Here's a look at points and ages. Runs the gamut. LeBron's 41, average 21. Embiid's 32.
You know what? He's an old 32.
Yes.
You think? I don't know if old is
Jalen's 29, average 29. Maxey's 25, average 28. VJ Edgecombe, only 21. He averaged 16 in his rookie year. All right, so Brew, we'll go back. You kind of touched on this a little bit. On the floor, will this work?
Well, let's define work. Work is a championship within the next 2 years.
Correct.
All right.
What he's done every time he's
They're going to be good, of course, but work is winning a championship. We said Philly hadn't done it in 43 years. We know their fans are impatient. They just got a Super Bowl, and they're not happy with the Eagles right now. So the fans are impatient. And I've said 2 years, which is legit because that's the contract, but you got Joel Embiid on the team. Mm-hmm. And he's played 96 games over the last 3 seasons. Obviously, that's 32 games a year. And so counting on him even for the second season of this contract is really not something you can do. So they should be of the mindset, we're going to win it this year when Joel presumably will be better than he is 2 years from now. And as I said, he's not the rebounder he used to be. He's a career 11 rebound a game guy. Last year, 7 rebounds a game. Even in the playoffs when he was great and beat Boston, 7 rebounds a game. 2 years ago, 8 rebounds. So he is declining, and who knows a year from now how much more he will have declined. Not to mention LeBron's going to be 42 this year.
It's something.
So at some point, you would think there's going to be some type of decline. There's always been a little decline, but I'm just saying, like, who knows how long he's going to still be playing at an all-star level. So that being the case, winning a championship being work, I'm more than 50% that they will not win a championship in these next 2 years.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I mean, the number one reason is Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. I hope I'm wrong. I've got no faith in him being healthy. I don't think there is any legitimate reason to have faith in him being healthy. And I think, Nick, with Joel Embiid playing healthy, they could win not just the East, could win the championship.
Yes.
Without him, they're good. I don't think they are a championship team without him.
So that.
Let me finish this.
My bad.
Here's what I think for it to work. As I said, I think LeBron has to play that Swiss Army knife role.
Okay.
And secondly, and this is to Nick Nurse, Iowa Mafia, the head coach, good coach from Iowa. He needs to institute an egalitarian offense.
Interesting.
Where all 5 players, there's movement, and there's not so much he's our number 1 option, he's our number 2 option, he's our number 3 option. It's egalitarian. The open man shoots, so LeBron gets his, Jaylen Brown gets his, Tyrese gets his, Embiid gets his, Edgecombe gets, like, that's what he needs to institute.
2014 Spurs.
Yes, and it's due in the NBA with everybody else, essentially, not everybody, but most other teams playing 1 or 2 man basketball. We've seen it with the Spurs, with the Warriors. When you play 5-man basketball, it works in this league. And you got 5 stars that want the ball, want to score, can score. That's how they should play. That's the best chance of it working.
Okay.
So our little bug there says all the King's men. I wonder, I don't know if Jaylen Brown watches the show every day. But I wonder if I was Jaylen Brown, I'm like, hey, I get it's a play on words. I don't love that. And I've been big on chemistry since the Knicks won. I said the secret sauce is like, you know what? They're all friends, and they all root for each other. And after they won, they were like, you know what? We were all cast off second-round picks. People didn't believe in us. We all came together, and we all rode for each other. It feels a little bit like this is the opposite story. LeBron has always been the man since St. Vincent, St. Mary's. He wasn't the man in the Lakers, and to the point where like, it's an odd fit. I'll be the Swiss Army knife, but I'd rather leave. And the Lakers were obviously apart. Jaylen Brown is like, I'm finals MVP, I'm the man. And Tatum goes down, like, now I get to prove I'm the man. I'm in the MVP conversation. Celtics like, we know you want to be the man, but kind of have the man, so why don't you go here? He's like, good, I'll go to Philly, be the man, but now he's not the man. Maxey might be the best player, so he's actually the man. Embiid is the man because it's been his team. And VJ Edgecombe is like, by the way, I'd like to be the man. I'm trending towards being the man. Ability. So I just don't think it's not nothing.
Listen.
I think it's actually a real story.
I think that's a real thing. So can I address that and answer the question? So here's what I think they have going for them to counterbalance that. I don't know that LeBron has a better relationship with any guy in the league 20 years younger than him than the one he has with Maxey.
I agree with that.
He and Maxey are super tight. Maxey is thrilled about this. Maxey is the best player on that team prior to, I feel like Maxey, he certainly has an argument he's the best player on the team.
He probably is, but he did defer to Embiid in the playoffs.
Correct.
I don't know if that's right or wrong.
And he and Maxey, I think, will be good. Mm-hmm. LeBron and Embiid played great together in the Olympics.
Yep.
That LeBron and Embiid pick and roll when Embiid played in those Olympics was before the game where Steph went crazy. Like, that was the team's bread and butter. And I think Embiid's happy about this. Jaylen is in a tricky spot. But Jaylen has heard this entire summer everybody discussing how his stats were fake. Like, you know what I mean? How it's like, yeah, his numbers were this, but actually he's not good. Actually, he's a negative player. And his, I think, trump card is, but since I've come into the league, my team's won more games than anybody else's team. So I'm this negative player, but I always win. I think at least for the first season, and then we'll see how the first season goes, I think Jaylen Brown will do what it takes to contribute to winning. And Edgecombe, I think you're very lucky that he's not yet in year 3 or 4, where he's not even going to be extension eligible after this year. He's the guy that's going to have to take the smallest role, I think, of everyone.
Yep.
And I think that's the easiest for a guy who's that far from a payday, because he seems like a sharp kid and understands nothing is better for a guy's long-term viability, market, everything than playing on national TV, playing deep in the playoffs, proving yourself there.
He also likes just putting the ball in the basket.
Absolutely. So that would be, I think what you're saying. Dust, give me an extra minute here because I want to answer the question. But so I think it's a real concern, but I think there are reasons to think they'll be able to work it out. I believe with a healthy Embiid, this is currently the best team in the league. I also think that without Embiid, it is a viable team that could win the East. And then, what the finals have shown us the last decade is you don't have to be the best team on paper to win the finals or to get to a game 7 of the finals, whatever it is. So I almost treat Embiid as not a bonus, but a bit of a bonus. And I also think that when I have heard people discuss this team working, and they talk about, they're like, well, Embiid and LeBron, and how many games they're both going to miss. I just want to get this factually accurate statement on the record. In the last 3 years, years 21, 22, and 23 for LeBron James, when he was 39, 40, and 41 years old, he has played the same number of minutes as Iron Man Jaylen Brown. He has played more minutes than Jamal Murray, Scotty Barnes, Paolo Banchero, Karl Anthony Towns, Cade Cunningham, Wemby, Giannis, Chet, Steph. He is right behind Tyrese Maxey and Donovan Mitchell in overall minutes. LeBron James has played in 71, 70, and 60 games the last 3 years. He is not, Mr. Iron Man that he was early in his career, but there's 40 guys that you would think of as bigger injury risk than LeBron, and he's never missed a single playoff game in his career. Yeah. So that could all change. Listen, it's year 24. No one's made it past year 23 or 2 year 23 but him. But I think this team instantly becomes the best team in the Eastern Conference, and then we'll see what happens out west.
Sight unseen that's a big take.
Yeah, it's where I stand.
Interesting wrinkle in the odds. Spurs and Thunder are tied for best title odds. Philly and New York have the second best odds to win it all, but when you look at the East, Jalen Brunson's squad is favored. Knicks, Sixers, Celtics, Pistons, Raptors. Maybe Giannis down there in 6 with Donovan's Cavs. And then Halliburton coming back. He's like, hey, I was just in the finals. What the heck? Are you surprised Philly's not favored to win the East?
No, because no one outside of maybe Nick and LeBron think Embiid's going to be healthy.
Well, you don't think Embiid's going to be healthy.
I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that.
So you said you think they're the best team in the East?
I said with Embiid, I think they're the best team in the league.
Right.
And I said without Embiid, I think they can win the East.
Okay, but can win the East and should they be favored without Embiid?
Should they be favored without Embiid?
I don't think they should be favored without Embiid. I think the Knicks should be favored without Embiid. So, I think that's number one, that I don't think he's going to be healthy, and I don't think anybody else does. And then you guys went over the chemistry concerns, and you're right. Jalen, Jalen's a professional.
Yeah.
I have no doubt he's going to go out and do what he has to do. He might not be the happiest camper about it, but I think he will do that. Look, like I said, you need role players. The greatest teams in the history of this league always had a role player in the starting lineup, whether it was Timothy Mozgov or Andrew Bogut or Kevon Looney or whoever in Golden State or one of those guys Jordan played with, Randy
BJ
Brown and BJ, a ton of them. Kurt Rambis with the Showtime Lakers. Their top 5 players.
Naming role players.
Their top 5 players are all, none of them are role players. And if Anthony Simons is the 6th guy, he's not a role player. You might have to throw a Dean Wade or a KCP in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the starting lineup. not a conversation I want to have with VJ Edgecombe.
No.
So I'm just saying, now I agree with you on some of the things you said about why you can be optimistic it could work out chemistry-wise, but these are legitimate problems that they're going to have to work out. And so I think those are the reasons they shouldn't be the favorite.
All right, so I think when the season starts, they will be the favorite. Because when the season starts, Embiid will be healthy.
That might not be the best thing.
I understand, I think there's going to be enough momentum towards this. I think they will be the favorite because of what Wildes was talking about in the beginning. I think we all thought, maybe I'm wrong, when the Sixers traded for Jaylen Brown, listen, they're not the favorite, but they could win the East. The Sixers with Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, that team, if the Knicks have the same trouble that every defending champion has had, plus they lose Mitchell Robinson, Celtics got worse. We don't believe in the Cavs. It felt like the Heat desperately needed Norman Powell. I think that if LeBron had just signed with the Warriors, so he doesn't go to any of those Eastern Conference teams, I think some people would have looked at this Sixers team with Dean Wade as their starting four, be like they could win the East. Now LeBron James is their starting four. So I do think they can win the East. I also think when Embiid's out, I think LeBron will play a little center. I think LeBron, right now, it feels like with Maxey and Edgecombe, they don't have a true point guard. I think LeBron will play a little point guard. I think he can, fill a lot of those roles. Quick bonus take to end this.
Bonus take.
Because what we didn't show, because it wouldn't have made sense there, is some of the deeper championship odds and Western Conference odds. But had we done it, you would have seen the Los Angeles Lakers at 35-1 to win the title and 19-1 to win the West. Now, I understand the West has those two juggernauts, but the meat of the East might actually be better than the meat of the West, but those two juggernauts are there. Now that we know that LeBron James is willing to play for the league minimum, I feel like the Lakers and the little whisper, what I felt was a whisper campaign to the media throughout the beginning and middle of last year, we're ready for this to be over. We're excited to move on, is something they will regret. I think that they did need to prioritize Walker Kessler, turn the car keys over to Luke, all those things. Had they been able to do that while maintaining a relationship with LeBron that I think they were unable to maintain, and if he was willing to play for $4 million for Philly, to not have the relationship strong enough where he'd stay on the team where his son plays and play for $4 million for the Lakers, I think they're going to regret that.
Don't you think the only reason they regret it is if they would have won a championship with him?
I think that they would have a much better chance next year winning a championship if they were the team that had LeBron on the league minimum than the Sixers. I think the fact that the Lakers
they could have won a championship
with $4 million LeBron on the team.
Well, would he have taken that?
That's my point.
That's
my point is
I
they
think he
should
would
have
taken more from the Lakers.
They needed
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Check out the podcast. It's brand
That's
new.
from today.
And our new walk-ins, our YouTube video is up and running thanks to...
You had to maneuver through that flood water.
It wasn't that bad.
I mean, we were flooded.
Also, have you noticed Brew is such a savvy pro.
Why? What do you do?
He always makes sure days of walk-in videos, he's king emblazoned. He always uses our walk-in videos as little free advertising
marketing,
for the king of the cuties.
7 days away from the start of the NFL season. Bills open up in Houston. Kay Adams sat down with Deion Dawkins about the addition of DJ Moore. Take a listen.
The guy, he's quiet, he's calm, and he's a baller, and he likes football.
What's he going to do for Josh?
Get open.
Get open. Help, right?
He gets
I don't
open.
want to see this Josh Superman
Me neither.
Nonsense.
Me
It's
neither.
nonsense.
Me neither.
How
It's
does-
not nonsense, Kay.
What do you mean?
But he doesn't have to put it all on his back. And when he has a player that he can depend on that's going to get open, he can toss the ball to, it's cool. And now he has somebody that's going to do that. And Josh don't have to be, I'm going to put it all on my back. Now he can just let the ball go, let the ball fly.
I like that. Adam said, I don't want to see this Superman nonsense. I loved it. What are you, stressed out about something?
No, I'm disappointed in front of the show, Deion Dawkins.
Why?
Remember, he was on the show. He was drinking Labatt Blue. He said he'd send us some. We like him. We like Deion Dawkins.
We
He's
do.
great.
Well, we never got the
we like
Labatt
him.
Blue. Is
I
that
did.
what you're upset
I did.
about?
No,
Did
no,
you?
I have it. Yeah. I have it. It's in my office. I had one before the show. Because who's the Bills guy on the show? It's me. It's always been me.
Guess
You pick them to get
Here's what I'm going to say. You don't even think they're going to win the division.
No, they didn't win last year.
Brew abandoned them after they got rid of Diggs. I don't remember. I've always been the Bills truth teller on the show.
Truth teller is fair. I don't know if you're the Bills guy.
Well, if the show has one, it's me. And I don't know why Bills fans, media, and players insist on denigrating 50-some guys on a roster to promote a guy that everyone knows is awesome. Nobody questions that Josh Allen is awesome. This idea that Josh Allen's been in this impossible situation where he just has to do it all on his own is just ahistorical. The Bills have been true contenders for the last 5 years. You know, Bills' seasons are defined by how they lose in the playoffs. So those 5 years are the 13-second game, the awful playoff loss at home to Cincinnati, the missed field goal against Kansas City, the other loss against Kansas City, and then last year's against Denver. Those 5 years. Here is their defensive ranks over those 5 years, okay, since they've been contenders. First, second, fourth, 11th, 12th. In the 5-year span, it's the best scoring defense in the league overall, and it's the only team in the whole league that has never had a scoring defense outside of the top 12. They've never had since they've been contenders, they've always had somewhere from good to great defenses.
Sure.
All right, what about weapons? Well, in the last 5 years, when he had Stephon Diggs, this actually dates back 6 years, I
like
guess.
this. Shout out to Stephon.
Diggs, okay, so 2023, you see a real drop-off, right? But luckily, 2023 is when James Cook got involved. So he had the number one receiver in football for one of those years. And then James Cook, all right, his first year, 16th in rushing yards, but first in rushing touchdowns. And last year, he was the rushing champion. One of the primary reasons, Brew, the Bills have not gotten over the hump is because, by the way, James Cook, the last 2 years, is second in the NFL in playoff yards to Saquon Barkley. He's been great in the playoffs. One of the reasons they have not gotten over the hump is because in these 5 years, when they've lost in the playoffs, in the last 4 years when they've lost in the playoffs, post 13-second game, Josh has been below his standard.
Well, he's trying to do it all.
That nonsense.
Yeah. So I don't know why we say a team that has the rushing champ and historically had great defenses in the last 2 years, just had good defenses, that it's a one-man show for the quarterback. I don't think that's accurate.
I like your take, but as the, former journalist on the show, I watched the whole. I mean, I didn't actually watch the whole interview. I watched a good chunk of it to get the context.
I watched the whole show. Yeah.
And as delicious as your take was.
Delicious.
Can we just stop down for a second? Stop down for a second.
What?
Dusty, just give me.
Am I going to go?
Just give me 1 minute
go
here.
Ahead.
Just give me
let
1
me
minute.
get back to my
decide.
take when you're done.
Are you going to be using the word delicious throughout the show?
Are you mad because I used it with Nick? Usually
well, you
I
use it in the walk-in, and then sometimes you prompt me for it, and you're like, "What is that?" And I'm like,
He's
"Delicious."
jealous that
but we're going to just be using it. Delicious is just one of your things.
I'll throw it in when the time is right.
All right, back
to your take, Bruce. Go ahead.
No, Deion Dawkins did not mean any disrespect. He wasn't dismissing James Cook.
Okay.
Now, if you just watch that part, you might think they had the best leading rusher in the league. What's he talking about? But the context was the passing game.
Yes.
He was talking about the passing game. And I also think, Nick, he actually meant that Josh can sometimes feel like he has to do it all by himself. And so, look, we got a top flight receiver, a top 10-ish receiver, whatever. A legit number one. How about that?
There we go.
You got a legit number one
That's
receiver. Good. Josh does not have to feel like he has to do it all. Because I agree, the stats in the playoffs, sometimes he's feeling like he has to do it all. And you look at, I think they actually have a pretty good receiving core now. Because everybody, Khalil Shakir, he mentioned Joshua Palmer, okay, we'll see. But the two tight ends they have, without a legit number one, everybody had to move up. And they're not, right. Khalil's not a number one. But now you have a number one. Everybody's in their right spot. And you're right, Nick. I mean, Deion does like to pub his teammates. That's why with the Joshua Palmer, like last year it was Keon Coleman was going to be the superstar wide receiver.
So here's the question I would have for you, though, KW.
No,
if it's just about he now has a legit number one, and let's just assume DJ Moore is going to have such a bounce back, he is up to the level of like early with the Bills, Steph Diggs. Do you guys feel like Josh stylistically played differently as from a risk-taking standpoint with
a better receiver?
From when he had Diggs versus when he had Keon Coleman last year. I feel like
Well, remember,
if anything,
when they took off and started, remember they were struggling a couple years ago.
And they stopped throwing it as much.
Yeah, they took the ball out of his hands to some degree.
And that was post-Diggs. So my point is, historically, he has played the playoff game against the Broncos, notwithstanding when he was max reckless. It's not like, when he's had a great receiver, he's been cautious, and then he's just gotten crazy when he has to do it. It actually is kind of more the opposite. We showed that roller coaster graphic and him leading the league in turnovers year after year after year when they had a number one receiver in Diggs. And it was the last couple years when they had the number one rusher in football, last year at least, when he was more cautious. I feel like I can't remember a team that had the rushing champ more often be discussed as if it has no weapons.
That's fair. To Deion's credit, Bills wide receivers last year, you don't even have to pop it, Dust. We'll just move on. 2,107 receiving yards. It's 24th in the league. Just for wide receivers, though. Yeah. Obviously, targets the tight end.
Quickly, I actually think one of the most intriguing situations, maybe at least in the AFC or that division, is how does Brady use Josh now that he's totally in charge? Does he open it up again and let Josh kind of go 4 years ago? Or is it more of the cautious offense that there's been
the other
last
quotes
2 years?
we got out of the Bills was that Joe Brady's like having your uncle in charge, where they let you do stuff you weren't otherwise allowed to do. And that always works in the end.
Head to Dallas, where the Cowboys are S-Bob and trying to be Gotti, the greatest offense there is. Take a listen to Dak Prescott.
A lot of times you have a lot of turnover, and we didn't have a lot of much turnover at all on our offensive side, right? We added some guys, and some younger guys are going to have to step up. So, maybe we seasoned the group a little bit, and guys are getting older, but we're close to some historic things last year. Why can't we be, and just, let's be the greatest offense there is. You've heard the greatest show on turf and all the other different nicknames.
Okay, Brew, here are the ranks last year. The offense was good, wasn't quite the greatest offense there is. The defense was terrible. And if you add them up, they were basically winning games 30 or losing games 30 to 28. The combined points on the scoreboard was the sixth most in the Super Bowl era. It's a little interesting factoid. So your reaction to Dak saying he wants to be the Gotti, the greatest offense there is.
Let me get this straight.
Oh, here we go.
he nicknamed their offense Gotti.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greatest offense there is. You guys know, I like the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
You've been flirting with them a little bit, yeah.
Their offense is great. The defense, I think, will be improved. I've picked them to win the NFC East. And I'm toying. I haven't made my NFC pick. None of us have.
Not prediction weeks.
But they're in the running. They're in the running as the team I might pick out of the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. And then this. I mean, I just don't like it.
I didn't think you would.
I love it! I it! Thank you, Dak, for showing a little swag.
Oh.
Show us some swagger. Now let me straighten this out, because people were saying, well, you don't like when they talk about the Super Bowl and this and that. I don't like when Jerry Jones, who is not out there banging heads, doesn't have to answer for all the stuff he says, goes on his weekly radio show, stands outside the locker room after every game and holds court about how they're going to win the Super Bowl. But a player, particularly your leader, coming out there saying, why not us? We've got arguably the two best, the best receiving tandem in the league. We got a running back I've always loved, Javonte Williams, who's legit. I loved him in Denver till he hurt his knee. He hurt his knee. Privately, you didn't know, but I loved Javonte Williams. Why not us? We know when Dak is healthy, their offense cooks. The offense cooks. So they're good for you, Dak.
Before I have you go, Nick, can I just show Brew one more thing? Dusty, hold on. Let me just read the quote from Dak Prescott. I want to set the tone. This happened while we were on vacation, Brew. I want to set the tone. I think the tone's been set. To say a T-shirt is going to do it, it would be. I knew you guys would like it. Didn't know how many teammates would see. It's just manifesting things. When we want stuff in life a lot of times, but when people start talking about it, you kind of hesitate. Should I say that? They're going to hold me to it. Dusty, can you show what Dak Prescott wore?
That's a throwback 1995 Cowboys Super Bowl champions T-shirt, bro.
It says champions on it. That's how he showed up to training camp, bro. Too much, or is that also?
You know what? I'm feeling good right now. I'm going to go, Dak,
Let me help your
It's a little much, but okay.
But so when he was, the other thing that you didn't have in that quote, when he talked about, I believe, in manifesting, and I don't know where you stand on that or not, he was like, when I was 6 years old, I said I was going to play in the NFL, and when I was 9 years old, I think I said I was going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So he talked about
how. So did a lot of people.
That's true.
Exactly. And he's the quarterback.
Just saying. I don't know that one.
Hold on.
There's millions of people that say that.
That makes
it like that.
Wait a second. That's what makes it more impressive. It's way less impressive if someone's like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm going to be Kevin Wilde's assistant. They're the only person with that dream. That job's available.
If every kid wants to be the Cowboys quarterback and one gets
the one who got it. And he's the one who's got it. What do you mean?
That's not fair. It's not,
what do you mean? Here's the problem with that.
He's the one who got it.
Nick, here's the problem with that argument. You think every other year he hasn't said, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We know he said that.
But he is on Front Street now with this.
I like the swagger.
Way more than...
I like him coming out there and putting it out.
Okay, good. I'm glad you like it. I
like a little.
I like the idea of the singers being a happy part of the show.
Yes.
Celebrating Cowboys' success.
Can you imagine what they'll do with Gotti? Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, my goodness.
Greatest offense there is? Okay.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach, a trip to the state fair, and a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Big Show has no deal cooking.
We'll talk to him.
We got you.
Reportedly offered a 2-year, $100 million contract from Tampa Bay, but he said no thanks. Dusty, I can't believe Dusty took my script.
What do you mean?
He needed more money or more years, but he
did it with a K because his name's Baker.
Yeah.
Good one.
Told you that.
Thank God that's not on the script.
Dust, I told you that wouldn't work, Dusty.
I mean, it would have taken a while for people to figure that out.
Well, yeah, you need the transcript.
Disappointing in that regard to not have, to feel disrespected a little bit. And that's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued after, thinking you've earned it. I think I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been told I'm a franchise quarterback. It's been said publicly from ownership down here. And so to not have a deal done is very disappointing. I don't want to talk about it. And if you've waited this long to take care of your franchise quarterback, that's too bad because it's only going to get worse from here. I'm going to have a really good year.
I guess that was maybe good. I don't know. Should Baker have accepted that 2-year, $100 million offer?
I imagine Nick and I are going to have the same take. But
Okay.
first of all, I do understand him feeling disrespected because 2 years does feel like I'm young. I mean, he's still young.
One more year than Mike Nore's getting.
Right. But I get him feeling that way, all right? And he said the years was an issue and also that
the guarantee.
we don't know what the guarantees were. But here's what I do if I'm Baker. I know he said I'm done negotiating and all that. Tell your agent, look, go see if you can get $110 million, 55 a year instead of 50 or 50 and some change. See, whatever the guarantees are, see if you can get them at league average for players making that much.
Okay.
And then take the deal.
For 2 years.
Yes, because the problem is Baker has no leverage. That's why I think we're going to have to. If he goes out and has the year he's predicting, which he could, and let's say he's even the MVP, they are going to franchise tag him. They got two franchise tags left on him. The franchise tag for next year right now is at $47 million. Could maybe go up to 50, but
50.
It's probably going to be a little less than they actually offered him, or if it's the same. So he can talk. He goes out and plays great. Oh, all these teams are going to want me. He's not going to get the free agency. Tampa Bay's going to say, we're locking you up on the franchise tag. So I think he should just it's unfortunate, but I don't think he has any leverage
So
there.
he had an interesting part of his quote that we didn't play where he disagrees with Brew because of how they structured his current contract. So this is where I do need 30 seconds to talk about void years, KW, because he talked about it and it's important.
Awesome.
He's on a 3-year, $100 million deal with the Bucs. Mm-hmm. When it ends at the end of this year, they will have paid him $100 million. Only 70 of that 100 will have shown up on their cap over the last 3 years. Next year, if he's not on the team or if he is on the team, no matter what, there is a $30 million void year. So he believes because that there is a $30 million void year on their cap next year, that it's not tenable for them to then franchise tag him at 50, and now their quarterback's cap hit is $80 million. He said, he said that to the media. He was like, franchise tag doesn't really work with the way their cap situation is. So I think his agent has communicated to him, they're bluffing. They can't franchise you. Because the franchise tag, you can't prorate that over years. So it really would be $80 million for Baker next year, which would be disastrous for them. So he thinks he holds all the leverage, in which case I'm not sure he's wrong, and I'm not sure he is actually not going to keep this negotiation going. I think it's best for all parties to get a deal done, like Bruce said, because even if they don't have the franchise tag in their back pocket the way they're acting like it, he doesn't have health guaranteed in his back pocket either. And so I think.
So you think he'll take 2 years?
I think maybe that he wanted $55 million a year and he wanted at least 3 years. I thought that's what he would get thereabouts. I think that my guess is he can get a third year out of him, and even if the number's around $50 million, they can get it to work. Because I think it's bad for Baker to go into this year without any security, because if he has another down year, I don't think he's getting $50 million elsewhere because of the injury stuff.
Yeah.
And the Bucs, they've got no backup plan. And but I think he has more leverage than it would seem, because I don't know that they actually can franchise that.
It's very interesting. Yeah. For a guy who has played at less than 100%.
Would he do that? Yeah.
I wouldn't.
He seems like he just would want to ball, and that just seems like how he is.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. There are also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Do you do that in the second hour?
Yeah, I don't do it in the beginning of overtime. My God, man, we're only off for a week. I've been doing it in the second hour for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, of course I do.
You didn't know anyone?
I did.
Is that?
Of course he did. And when not only do I do it, sometimes I'm late because I'm doing research, and you mock it. You're like, somebody's not locked in.
Oh,
I do it every hour. You are rusty. Luckily, we have another vacation coming up, but you are rusty.
Second hour of First Things First. Turns out he does it all every day. Today, what would a title mean for LeBron's legacy? And meanwhile, more on this breaking story. Is Purdy in a bad spot already? Some conspiracy theories, maybe a brief visit from the sports media ombudsman.
Yeah.
Some Debo Samuel talk. Was Brennan Ayuk?
California Highway Patrol's involved.
Who knows what's going on over here? CMC, some alternative medicine.
Yeah. A lot. There's a lot going on.
It's bad out there.
I'm out on the 49ers already. Kevin Durant, friend of the show, weighed in on LeBron's new team, shades of the iconic Warriors squad that he was on.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
Durant was at a USA basketball event on Saturday and said this to Ben Golliver. Take a listen.
For sure. I mean, you don't think so?
No, I'm just asking you.
Last time they put 3 20-point scores on the team, they said it was unfair, which is the team I was on.
Yeah.
They got 4 25-point scores on this team. So, hell yeah, I think they're going to be a contender, man. They're going to be a great team to watch.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now, in fairness to Durant, who even though, he and I had, a little bit of a back and forth a couple weeks ago, I like Durant a lot, and I find
You
him...
squashed that beef.
I squashed it, yeah. I felt
what
like
was that
I did.
beef about?
He said, somebody put one of those little memes together, like eliminate one, and he said if you eliminated Nick Wright, the NBA discourse would move, the league would move forward. Like, I'm holding the league back.
That's real power.
It's real power. And then I said I thought he and I were cool, and he responded with, what made you think that? Whatever. I do like Durant. I find him to be one of one as far as the player is on the court. I don't think there's ever been anyone quite like him as far as his size and his style. And I don't think there's ever been anyone who's approached his interaction with fans the way he, you know what I mean? Like, uniquely.
Yeah.
And he's getting killed because everyone says, even what we're saying, compares him joining the Warriors to LeBron signing with the 76ers. But the last time they put 3 20-point-per-game scorers on a team was when he joined the Suns with Booker and Beal. And the time before that was the last time, was when he joined the Nets with Harden and Kyrie. So he could be talking about any of those teams, except he's talking about the Warriors. He actually was talking about the Warriors.
So the last 3 teams, other than Houston, the last 3 teams before that he joined all had 3 20-point scores.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Suns did with Booker and Beal, and then obviously the Nets did. But it was a little tongue-in-cheek, talking about the Warriors team, because that was the only one that was called unfair.
Right.
Slight differences between the Sixers in 2026 and the Warriors in 2017.
Yeah.
The ones that come to mind for me are the Warriors. Steph Curry had won the league MVP the year before in 2016, the year before that in 2015, and the person who had won it the year before that was Kevin Durant, who was joining the team. The Warriors, in the 2 years before Durant got there, won 67 plus 73, 140 games, plus 31 more in the playoffs, plus a championship and made a finals. The Sixers in the last 2 years have won 69 games, not per season total, and have won 1 playoff series rather than won 1 championship.
Got it.
And they haven't been to the conference finals in a quarter century. Aside from that, they're very similar operations. I think it is an absurdity to act like, that LeBron, as great as I believe LeBron is at the level in 2026 that Kevin Durant was in 2017. And I think it's even more absurd to act like this Sixers team is in the vicinity of the 73-win defending back-to-back Western Conference champion Golden State Warriors. So I strongly disagree with Kevin Durant's take there.
Well, to add to what you said, that Golden State team also had just beaten Durant and OKC in the playoffs and come back from a 3-1 deficit to do it.
Yeah.
So had Durant, and look, I did not criticize and kill Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State. But I'm just saying, had he gone back to OKC, it would have been very reasonable to think they can beat Golden State the next year.
Oh, yeah.
So there was that element as well. But I agree with everything you said about why it's different. Let me say this for Durant. I don't think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think this is how he meant it. I don't think he is necessarily saying, I don't think he's saying what LeBron just did a week ago in going to Philly is the same thing he did in going to Golden State. I don't think he's saying that. But I don't think he minds that thought being out there and that discourse being out there. I'll be honest, if I was in Kevin Durant's shoes and people still, in some quarters, were criticizing me for what I did going to Golden State, and, we've even heard all-time greats say there should be an asterisk there by his championships, I would want them to compare this to that as well. So he probably doesn't mind it being out there that people are saying, oh, LeBron's going to a stacked team, this and that. But to your point, Nick, they're two totally different situations. Yes, the team on paper has a ton of talent, but that's where the comparisons are.
You hear Jonah Hill was on a podcast?
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You can beat everybody up now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, bro.
He's taking jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he lost a lot of weight, he did.
Probably tough.
And he told the guys, he's like, I can beat all you guys up now. And they were like, oh, that's cool, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And he said, if anyone says, hey, there's the chubby kid from Superbad, they don't realize I could annihilate them or something. And I felt like sending a note to Jonah Hill, which said, rational people don't think of you like that anymore.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, rational people aren't still talking about your decision to go to the Warriors in 2016. It has no bearing. You were asked about LeBron joining the Sixers. Like, you know what it reminds me of? 2016. What?
That's what I'm saying. He don't mind
it. Was 10 years ago, but he's like haunted by this. Yeah. I know we kind of made this a LeBron
move.
It was unique,
but still, man, it's a decade ago.
Literally a decade.
It's just like we gotta move on. Like you personally have to move on. Same with Jonah Hill. Like, man, you can't let the trolls drag your mindset. Rational people and people who know ball and know movies and know your acting career don't think of you like that anymore.
To your point, though, and even yours, he's
from
out there
Brad Pitt
debating and responding to all these different people, and so he may be seeing still people shooting him down and saying, "Oh, you just went to a stacked team."
So, but also the other thing is this: if I'm gonna, because you're right that this is a weird. I mean, Kevin Durant picked the Warriors on July 4th, 2016.
Yeah,
it's been literally just over 10 years ago. So I agree with your point on that, but also to address this on its merits. Had LeBron, there was an easy, LeBron right now is not one of the three best players in the world, which Durant was in 2017, or 2016, which is what made that decision with Steph, one of the other ones. If LeBron had just signed with the Thunder, there are some comps there, even though LeBron's not the same player. Because the Thunder won a championship 2 years ago, were arguably they were the best regular season team this year. They lost in 7 games, granted in the conference finals instead of the finals. The Thunder beat LeBron,
the Spurs.
But the Thunder beat LeBron in the playoffs.
Well, right.
You know what I mean? But even if LeBron had done that, the impact of that would have been if they win the title, LeBron doesn't get full legacy credit for it, which is what we're about to discuss. People, I don't think, would have felt like it was as unfair of a tilting situation, which was ultimately, and this is the thing I think KD has never fully come to terms with, and again, he hates when people psychoanalyze him, so that's probably not helping, with the relationship I'm trying to mend. It is a compliment to how dominant he was in that moment.
Durant,
Yes, it was a fact that people felt like it makes it unfair. Which if he was just a great player, not a great player, it would have just been a coup for the Warriors as opposed to this felt unfair. He's never viewed it as a compliment to his skill set.
That's right.
And it still bothers him, I think. I think.
Who knows? We'll check your DMs. See it. Philadelphia hasn't been to the finals since an Iverson-led team lost to the Lakers 25 years ago. Haven't won a championship since 1983. If the Sixers won, Brew, what would that mean for LeBron's legacy?
As I said, legacy, right? For LeBron at this point, it's just convincing more people he's the GOAT. Everything else, I mean, he's done, right? On both sides of this debate, Jordan, LeBron, it feels like most people are just dug in and they're not changing. Whether you're on LeBron's side, Jordan's side, you're not changing. I believe Jordan's the GOAT. I believe LeBron's second. I'm not saying it would be impossible for me to change. I think kind of what LeBron would have to do for me might be a little unrealistic at this point, but I'm open if who knows what could happen. But I will say this, Nick, if he becomes the first player to lead a fourth team to a championship or even win a championship with four teams at 42 years old, I do think he will convince a significant number of Jordan, people that are on the Jordan side, that he is the GOAT. I don't know if it'll tip. I think right now it feels like Jordan has more people saying he's the GOAT. I don't know if it would tip the scales to LeBron, but I think he'd get a significant number of those Jordan people, and it would be close, much closer in some people's, So I think that's what he could do if he wins this, because it's just. His longevity is obviously unprecedented. Winning it with a fourth team as still a top player would be, unprecedented. So, I think he would sway some more people in that debate.
So I think because I have a question for you at the end. I think he would sway less people than we think.
Really?
Yeah, for a couple reasons. One is you said, and I agree with you, that most people, and I hear a lot of people say this, no, Jordan folks are in the Jordan camp, LeBron folks are in LeBron camp, and neither one's moving. And I always hear that, and I'm like, well, if that's true, that really only makes sense in one direction. It doesn't make any sense, I think we would all agree, that if you thought LeBron was the GOAT 5 years ago, and then you're like, you know what, I've now switched. Like, he's gone backwards. Right. Like, it would make sense that the guy who's still playing is the only one who can gain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it would. So once LeBron has won someone over, as long as he's still playing, his numbers should only rise, and at least a little. A few people would be falling off from the guy who isn't playing anymore. That just logically, to me, makes sense.
I agree with that.
The reason I think the fourth team was, I vividly remember when Kawhi went to the Clippers, and people were like, he can become the first guy to win Finals MVP for 3 franchises. We think he will. It is such it's unfathomable that someone could do it. And that year LeBron did it, and I don't even think anyone's ever mentioned it since. Like, he's the only guy with 3 Finals MVPs for 3 franchises. If someone's entire, argument of who, because I agree with you. The only thing left on the legacy thing is to become closer to the majority, if not the majority opinion GOAT. If people are basing that off just whose peak was higher, like you and I disagree on this. You think Jordan's peak was higher, I think LeBron's peak was higher, that's fine. That's a legitimate argument, I believe, but whatever. That die is cast. LeBron's peak is not going to change at all in the rest of his career. Yeah. Like the peak, whose peak was higher, that debate is cast. If people's argument is, it's not just the 6 rings. It's 6 rings in such a short, in a relatively short career. That die is cast. Like LeBron could win back-to-back in Philly. It's like, all right, well, that's 6 and 25. Jordan had 6 and 15 or whatever. If the argument is he never lost in the final round, well, that die's been cast for 20 years almost. So it feels to me like those are I don't want to say the vast majority of the arguments I hear, 1 or 2 or 3 of those for Jordan. LeBron can't change those. Like those arguments are settled law at this point in people's heads, whatever side you're on. And so I don't think it would mean as much as people think to anyone who is currently having the debate. I think it would mean massively to how we discuss Russell Chamberlain 50 years from now, when people are talking about the greatest basketball players of all time. I think LeBron can continue to make the case of nobody's ever had the career I had. And it's so far removed from everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where, like, for a lot of, at least for me, why do I have Russell higher than Chamberlain on my all-time list? I just read what people were saying contemporaneously about it, hear the people that watched them, and just it's kind of, you know, like doing a history project. I'm not saying I watched the grainy footage. I don't know. And so I think LeBron can continue to make his historical case. Like, he's almost making a case for people who haven't even discussed LeBron versus Jordan yet. Like, future generations of sports.
I cede best career to LeBron. And I can think Jordan's the GOAT, but I'm like, who had the best career? I think LeBron is running away with that.
So I think those two things are only separated contemporaneously and not historically.
What do you mean?
I think that if someone in 1968 was like, well, obviously Russell had the better career than Wilt. Like, there's no question he had the better career. But Wilt was a better player. I'm saying 30 years later, it's just whoever had, like, it's only one argument. I don't know which one, you know what I mean? It's just one thing. Those things flatten a bit. And so I think LeBron is doing things, if he were to win in Philly, that makes it to where, well, the rings are now 6-5, and he has all of these records and all of these things that people who haven't yet chimed in on the debate will find the debate pretty facile, even if people who lived it feel like it's close.
Yeah, younger people in the,
yes.
yeah.
Jordan's not going anywhere. That's a long way of saying it. Burrow. Joe Burrow next.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Fox, baseball night in America. Guardians taking on the White Sox. Orioles, they're sending their players all over the place, taking on the Rangers. So you might see the Tigers-Giants Saturday at 7, only on Fox.
I have an apology.
Go ahead.
When the Fox baseball schedule came out at the beginning of the year, if you guys remember, I took a little shot at our network for not having more Royals games.
Yeah.
They were right.
I know what you're doing. NFL top 100.
Good job, Mulvihill. You had nailed that one.
QB watch. Last two quarterbacks revealed, not totally last, but the most recent. Herbert coming in at 39, Joe Burrow coming in at 44. It's a 38-spot drop for Joe Burrow. Here's how he performed last year. When he was on the field, he did pretty well. 5-3. He had 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, passer rating over 100, and of course the Bengals were no good without him, only 1-8. Is Burrow's drop fair or foul? Andy, if you want to have a bonus take of some Justin Herbert stuff, throw it in there.
Okay,
recently
thanks,
engaged.
Buddy. I appreciate that.
Congratulations, Justin Herbert.
I would listen, just like this entire list for Brew, I think is a little polluted by every ranking that comes out. There's a Lamar Jackson element to it.
Right.
Yes, and it's still just
it's
just a misprint.
Yeah,
way better than Lamar.
I feel a little similarly about Herbert. That there's a bunch of guys that are behind Herbert that I think that's unfair, and so like those. So I'm trying to divorce myself from that to a degree for this conversation. I don't think he should be behind Justin Herbert, for example, but in general, I do think he deserved to drop a bunch. And can we throw up the quarterbacks who have been revealed and the quarterbacks who I believe are yet to be revealed?
They all have to make it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way
it would be stunning if any of these guys are not on there, given the guys who are. So that would put Burrow in at number 9. again, I think he deserves to probably be a touch higher. However, I am not as moved by eye-popping statistics for a team that has provided you with eye-popping weapons when the wins and the availability have not gone along with it. And I do think a massive part of how we have evaluated quarterbacks forever has not only been KW's thing, the win, set that aside, but has been, are you there? And that it's one of the reasons I am not as dismayed at Lamar dropping as Brew is, even if 69 is too far, and where he is on the list is too far. There are, a huge part of being a franchise quarterback in this league is consistently playing complete seasons. I know my guy Patrick just blew out his knee. We'll see if he becomes an injury concern. But you're right. He had been, prior to that, he had missed 1 game with an injury, 2 games with an injury in his whole career. I think that, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think Burrow has lived and the Bengals franchise has lived for quite some time on beating the Chiefs in overtime in a playoff game once. And their team just put out a little video about pads coming on, and it was Burrow in warm-ups to the Bills playoff game in the snow, doing the sweet pass where he spins around.
That looks sick.
That's the last time they won a playoff game. That's the second to last playoff game they played in. That was a long time ago. And so I just think, I'm rambling a bit, I apologize, Brew. I think his locked in, no doubt, top 5 quarterback status, I don't feel that way anymore. I think he's that talent, but I think that I don't feel like if you have an NFL quarterback top 5 and he's not in it, this is the first year I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
If I had a top 5 going into the season, I could change this season, but going into this season, he would be in my top 5, along with Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Lamar, and him. But I do agree with Nick that this is fair because the players, in dropping Lamar, as you said, they clearly took injuries into consideration. And Lamar played way more than Burrow did last year. Burrow played, as you showed, 8 games. And he only averaged 226 yards a game, I think it said on there.
Quiet game.
So it wasn't, now they scored a bunch of points in some of those games, but still, it wasn't the year he had before. So I just think that players rightly looked at, his injury history from last year, and not to mention in the past years, and said they're dropping him. I agree that I think I think he's top 5. But he definitely, to me, if you can argue over, Dak played all last year, Goff obviously, Darnold won the Super Bowl, May was second MVP. You can argue all that ahead of Burrow. I don't know what the argument for Herbert is. Did the players just look at his toughness, that he played, his offensive line was broken up and he played, and I don't really know, and you guys know I like Herbert. I don't know right now what the argument is for putting him ahead.
A huge part of
Burrow,
Herbert's argument on this list is the fact that every year the voting does take place before the playoffs. That helps Herbert a ton. Maybe more than any player in the league.
That's real, though. That's real talk. They do it in
really helps.
That's true.
Can I ask you a question, KW, or do you have something you want to say on this?
No.
You go.
The list, again, we have our issues with this list, but we're going to act like it's...
Well, it's still the list,
but we can't figure out what the rationale is, and we're taking guesses at it. The one thing that we do see is a little bit where I see Herbert and Burrow is best case scenario when they're healthy, when the ball's out there, like the ball snapped and they're on the field, they're pretty great if everything's working. So this is Burrow when he's healthy. He's completing 70% of his passes. He's up around 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 106 passer rating.
That probably projects like some of his 8-game seasons.
Yes. These are the averages for his 3 healthy seasons. So if you get him healthy, it's honestly a cousin of our Embiid conversation. Like, hey, if he's out here, this guy is an MVP candidate. Are you going to see him out there? I don't know.
But I guess the counterpoint to that is, and this is a quarterback wins component of, and I don't know how much, I don't think anybody thinks like that winning the game is irrelevant to how we evaluate the quarterback. I think there's a debate on how much you should weigh it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Is it the majority? Is it 90%? Is it 10%? Whatever. There is, to me, an element of that since he's been there, the Bengals have made the playoffs twice. They have had one excellent regular season. One. There is
they were 10-6 the year they went.
Right, the year they went through, they were 10-6. Next year they won 12 games. I can't remember if that was a 16 or 17 game season. There is an element of the numbers have been elite, and the overall team success has been above average. Is that what it's been?
Slightly.
I don't even know.
They made a Super Bowl, so that's that weighs a lot. But they missed the playoffs 4 of the 6 years.
Yeah,
made the playoffs twice. The 2 years they made the playoffs, they were on good runs. And the other thing is, Dust, if we can just quickly throw that list up one more time, I do think that a cousin of the availability is when you look at these quarterbacks, man, it's him, Stafford, Goff, that just give you nothing if they don't throw the ball in that play. Like, look at literally everyone else on this list. From Bryce down, they all give you more than Burrow if the ball's not thrown, except for Stafford and Goff. Like Darnold is, what they would call a sneaky athlete. But he's big and can run. Herbert, I think that could run more.
He ran a lot.
Obviously, Knicks can run. Caleb, Hurts, Trevor, Lamar, Jordan Love. Baker maybe shouldn't, but he does. Purdy, I think it's one of his better assets. You know what I mean? Like everybody. So I think that also works against him a bit in that he gives you. If we're saying, different aspects of what make a quarterback great, his, when the play breaks down stuff is on the lower end of not just the top 5 quarterbacks. That's going to be 18 quarterbacks on this list. And he's 15th,
Remember
16th?
He had that one game, I think it was a Ravens game. And it was like
when
a
he
2-point conversion. It was a 2-point conversion. He didn't convert.
Oh yeah, you killed him for it. They lost. I think the final score of that game was 48-46, and you were like, Lamar would have gotten it.
But it's true. It's like Lamar converted something, and he threw an interception, or just incomplete. Head to San Francisco. Latest news, bro. Ricky Pearsall done for the year. Season-ending PCL injury. And didn't he hurt that last year? You might be asking. Yeah, September of last year, actually. The good news: Deebo Samuel is back. While Kyle Shanahan is limited in his role as he recovers from a mid-July car accident that came to light.
That wasn't mid-July. Yeah, they reported it like 3 days ago.
No, it turns out it was.
Mid-July?
Yeah, mid-July.
Wow. There's a police report and everything?
It's private.
Okay, got it.
A lot to digest there. What do you think all of this? Oh, and Mike Evans missed practice today with a quad. No big deal, just a quad. What's this mean for your guy Purdy?
I just don't know what to say about the Niners.
Right.
They are, all the injury, it's just ridiculous. But for Purdy, look, right now I'm assuming Mike Evans will be healthy.
Yes.
Okay? That might be a
35-year-old
bad
receiver
assumption.
Who's been injured each of the last 2 years. I'm sure his training game is I'm sure he'll be healthy.
Because
the oldest receiver in the league, he's been hurt the last 2 years. He's already hurt. I'm assuming
Is he
he'll be
the
healthy.
oldest in the league?
Of starting receivers? He's got to be. There's not old. Yeah,
wait till see the Chiefs sign.
You
guys are looking
around.
around.
Fine, but go ahead. Sorry.
But look, last year Purdy had a good year with Jawan Jennings, the typical number 3 is their number 1. So if Evans is there, and you got Christian Kirk, if he's there, Kittle is obviously, if he's there. I think Purdy can still have a good year. I think the key will be, he needs McCaffrey to have his typical year,
which is what I'm concerned about.
Right,
after the way he was used last year.
Yeah, I think Purdy will be good, but I think they need for them to have a playoff type season or be make the playoffs because they don't want to just be close. They need McCaffrey to have his typical year close, And the defense has to be good and healthy.
And they lost Salah.
And so, but I think Purdy with Evans and Kirk can play well and be fine.
Okay.
KW.
Yeah.
Listen, Dust, you can go ahead and, I think we have practice footage that we can play just
Sure.
while I'm talking.
Yeah.
You can ignore the elephant tower in the room throughout this footage. But
This is a low point. You're beneath this.
I'm not going
He's
to.
beneath this.
You're above this.
I
I'm sorry.
understand that the Niners were like, hey, we take the substation, conspiracy theory seriously. We're going to investigate it. And like, we investigated it, everything's fine. Are you sitting here telling me you believe it's 0% correlated, this team being this injured, with that giant humming menace being 100 yards from their practice facility?
In that video, it doesn't look good. I will admit that. I'll admit
Can I just ask you a question? If your boys play sports, if you were dropping them off at the first Little League practice of the year, and it was in a baseball field next to that, you wouldn't ask the league commissioner, hey, no other parks available?
Is it humming?
Well, have you ever walked past any of those in
Well, I
your
don't know
life?
if they all hum.
They all make that little buzz
them.
noise as little kids were told, don't climb the fence, dangerous over there.
Why?
It's just, again, I am not conspiratorial. If you are, there was a great interview about 2.5 hours ago on a different channel. You can watch it on YouTube. This, to me, is at least, it's unique. They're the most injured team every year. And this, it's just unique.
How about this? I'm going to put the substation conversation to the side.
Uh-huh.
What I think is the worthy conversation is for someone in the front office of the 49ers to say, hey, just explain it to me like I'm 5. What exactly was our plan with Ricky Pearsall, who was hurt in September, was in and out of the lineup, didn't get surgery on our recommendation, and now is out for the year because of training camp? Just, again, like I'm 5 years old. Were there any mistakes made, or were we happy with the decision-making tree there? That was good?
Turns out he could deal with a gunshot better than this.
Okay, and everyone else that's injured, you're in charge of those guys too?
Well, you are right, Wild.
So
you're absolutely right. It feels like they need a new training staff.
I don't think they've had the same one for 10 years.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Welcome back to the show. War of the words between two first favorites, the Jags and the Bears. Here's Liam Cohen on Chicago getting an outsized amount of attention, bro, followed by Ben Johnson's response. Take a listen.
You don't have to make up telling your players stuff.
Yeah,
you don't have to make up the fire. You don't have to make it up. It's given to us every day.
Yeah.
And it's like a welcome. It's a gift from the heavens. From you just scroll. I just go pull up my phone, look at the NFL Network website, and just pop up here. And
Any column.
Curious if I see any photos or anything about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think I'll just scroll right on through.
You keep going, yeah.
I think I'll see 40 pictures of Caleb Williams, and I won't see a single thing about any of our players.
We're the number one regression candidates, so I think we got plenty of motivation ourselves. We talked about Caleb in the past; he's used to handling a lot of attention, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay, Nick, these are your squads, at least one of them.
1.5 of the squads. First, so this is a tough spot because Liam Cohen. we kind of go, our show goes against what he's talking about. We overserve the Jags community, much to the chagrin of our bosses, everyone. We have been
Audience
the number
at
one
large.
Jag show
Yes.
from well before
No
Liam
question.
Cohen got there.
Yeah, for the record,
What?
it's a party of one.
Well, no.
We're not competing with anybody at the Jag show.
Oh, okay,
is what I'm
got
saying.
you.
Just us.
But
Right.
so I will.
No one's
So,
talking
but I
Jacksonville.
think he likes it. Little bulletin board material. So I'll help him out because I'm a Jags guy. Liam Cohen, I think you've done a great job there. You've been there a little over a year. I think you've had at least 3 and maybe 4 very distinct looks already. You got to pick one.
Oh, really?
You got to pick one. Like Ben Johnson's looked the same the whole way.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen's
Shirt on
still
or shirt off?
trying
He's
stuff
working
out.
it out. He's working it
And
out.
so you add that.
I like it. Non-visor, though, I'm for it.
Okay, fair enough. I think what Liam Cohen said is absolutely correct. The Jags are as little discussed with a 13-win team.
So I did the combo, and once you see it, like, oh shoot, man, we should talk about the Jags.
I've been saying that
and we
for
talk
years.
about the Jags a lot. Yeah, they went 13-4. They went into Denver and won. No one had done that since like the '80s. 28 points. Even though Ben Johnson, don't get me wrong, is an offensive genius. Liam Cohen raised his hand like, by the way, I know a little bit about offense myself. Averaging 28 points. And our defense was better, and we're winning games by a larger margin. The turnover differential, which Chicago was very lucky with. They ended up losing, but they did beat Josh Allen.
But that then gets to the other point. No, the Jags lost.
Oh, sorry, the Jags
They
lost.
had
to
him
Josh
on the
Allen.
ropes.
Sorry, they had him on the ropes, and
lost.
Trevor threw an interception. Wasn't necessarily his fault.
And the Bears are, because of how they won games, the number one regression candidate in a negative way. You know what I mean? And so both of those things are true, and both of those things are what their coaches should say to their team to get them motivated, in the month leading into the season. So I think that's 2 of the smartest young coaches in the league. I think both delivering the message they're supposed to deliver. That's what I think about it.
No, I totally understand Cohen's anger. Like you said, 13-4. Trevor at one time was Caleb. Like he was supposed to be that, next hot guy. And last year he was 5th, as you always remind us, 5th in MVP voting.
Yeah,
so
Jalen
there's
Brown finished 6th. Everybody
every
threw a
reason
party.
to think they should have been talking more about the Jags and Trevor. But I do think, and this is all written in pencil until we make our official picks. I feel like the Jags, of the 2 teams, right now, I'm thinking the Jags will be the one to regress more than the Bears.
Really?
The Jags are now going to be playing the first-place schedule. Last year it was a third-place schedule. And I just think that they're going to –
I mean, Vegas agrees. Jags are 8.5. Bears are 9.5.
Okay, so, I think they're – if I had to pick between the 2.
Do we have the Jags schedule? I can't believe the Jags are at 8.5 wins.
Wow, good job, Dust.
I mean, week 3 is tough. But they already went. I mean, the Browns. They already went into Denver and won.
Cincinnati won't be easy.
and
Philly.
So they get the NFC. I'm just looking at it.
Obviously.
They get the NFC East and the AFC North, plus the first place schedule. So they get their own division: the NFC East, AFC North, plus Broncos,
Ravens.
That's the AFC North. They get them no matter what.
Oh, they got
Broncos, Steelers, and there's one other strength of schedule game that I'm missing. Oh, the Bears. The Bears.
I mean, a lot of this number one schedule stuff, and again, we haven't done a ton on it, but just because the Patriots have it, it's like, all right, you get the Steelers. Like, okay.
Well, sometimes you get lucky.
I get why you're saying that.
Yeah.
Well, no, for real. Like a lot of the second place teams you expect had off years and might be stronger this year.
It is.
It could definitely change.
The benefit that comes from a fourth place schedule is far greater than the negative that comes from a first place schedule.
Yeah, like the Bills' second place schedule is like sneaky, might be tougher than the Patriots' first place.
You were right.
Really? Right.
It's
not my fault. I'm grinding the Bills' schedule while you guys are out here on vacation.
Hello.
Look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
We are digital, we are downloadable, we are streamable.
The fashion event of the year is certified fresh.
Pull yourself together, we have work to do.
Critics say it's smart and witty and the perfect sequel.
That's all.
Get runway ready for The Devil Wears Prada 2 on Disney Plus and Hulu. Rated PG-13.